Hello. So today I got back into the theater to see A24's latest horror movie brought to us by none other than Danny and Michael Philippou. This is the movie Bring Her Back. This is Danny and Michael's second feature film. Their first was Talk to Me. I would say there's many things that Danny and Michael are good at, but one thing in particular that they are good at is taking a concept that is not necessarily new or fresh and breathing their own style and life into it. So to take a trip down memory lane, Talk to Me was essentially like a Ouija type possession movie, fairly simple, fairly straightforward, but they really made it their own with the characters, the setting, the style, the dialogue, and it really worked quite well despite being something that's not really new in the horror genre. I would say this is a similar thing. The title, Bring Her Back, in my opinion, tells you most of what you need to know about this movie, okay? So if you know it's a horror movie, you know the title, Bring Her Back, you can kind of assume what the story is going to be. And I have to say, I wasn't really surprised at any point in the movie by the narrative. It was a fairly, again, straightforward plot that unfolded pretty much how I expected it would. The real genius of the film comes in the form of Danny and Michael's directing. They take what could be just an overused horror concept, and through making really interesting characters, really naturalistic dialogue, and really, really nasty, gruesome, heart-wrenching scenarios, they just breathe life into a concept that could really fall flat in anyone else's hands. I think my theater-going experience today really highlighted this for me, because before the movie started, an ad played for the new Conjuring movie, Conjuring Last Rites, I think it's called. And my thought when I was watching that, I thought to myself, wow, this looks pretty much like all the other Conjuring movies to me. And it just looks like it's a world that is so just kind of dead at this point. It's, everything's been overused. It's been beat to death. And I just don't know how anyone is really excited to see another Conjuring movie. And if all you knew was the premise of Bring Her Back, I think you could have the same fear about that movie. But in the end, it really, really stands out because of the craft used to make this story come to life. So what is it that stands out as being unique about a horror movie from the Philippous? I would say their characters really stand out to me, both in Bring Her Back and Talk to Me. The characters are very realistic. They're very believable. They're very grounded characters. They do a really good job of connecting you with familiar emotions and scenarios, even though their movies go to a place where they're kind of unbelievable and supernatural. I think this is achieved, one, through the selection of really good actors. We have Sally Hawkins, Jonah Wren Phillips, Billy Barrett, and Sora Wong as our leads in this movie. And they all do a really phenomenal job. There are some really just kind of wild emotional scenes in this movie, especially from Sally Hawkins. She's playing this character who is simultaneously kind of the fun aunt type of character and just this grief-stricken mother who is down in the depths of sorrow. She does a phenomenal job of kind of playing the tension between these two personas and just really showing the gut-wrenching emotion of this character. And then Billy Barrett and Sora Wong have really great chemistry, I think, as a brother and sister. I personally have a sister, and I really related with his character, even though my life is nothing like his. I related with his character because of that chemistry he had with his sister and how much you could tell that they loved each other despite some of the tension in their relationship. And then Jonah Wren Phillips, I gotta give him credit. He didn't have many lines, but it's my belief, at least, that he had to wear a lot of prosthetics, and that couldn't have been very comfortable. So his physical performance and his just ability to endure lots of prosthetics, props to him, man. He did a fantastic job as well. The second thing that really makes Danny and Michael's characters stand out in their movies would be the dialogue. Again, I would describe this dialogue as naturalistic, as really comfortable and flowing. I wasn't really struck by any lines of dialogue that seemed strange or out of place or seemed conveniently exposition heavy or anything. The dialogue is very natural, it's very believable, and it's really well written. So another element of kind of the stylistic life that the Philippous bring to their movies is just kind of the really, really uncomfortable horror elements, the gore, the uncomfortable situations and relationships that happen in the movie. There was a couple scenes with Sally Hawkins' character where she's interacting with Billy Barrett's character, and I wanted to punch her so bad. She's just creepy in the most unsettling kind of way, just nasty. And then some of the just kind of grotesque horror scenes in this movie, man, there was one scene in particular that involves a knife in somebody's mouth, and the sound design and the visuals of that were disgusting. They just made my skin crawl, which for a horror movie, that's good. That's what, that's the reaction that you want your audience to have. But it was rough to watch. Really, this whole movie was a little bit rough to watch. I think just some of the emotional themes that are carried throughout this movie of grief and loss, family dynamics, and then just the horror elements of it. This is not an easy watch, I would say. It's almost in the vein of the movie Hereditary. I've only seen that movie once, and I don't know that I ever really want to see it again. Maybe years and years down the line, I'll watch it again. This movie kind of gives me the same vibe. It was very painful at times to watch. So I think where I would land on this movie is the concept is nothing new. The execution of it was phenomenal. The direction by Danny and Michael, the acting by the entire cast, the writing, everything was, I would consider it top tier in the horror genre. It's just a movie that I don't know that I would want to watch again anytime soon. That being said, it's very, very effective as a horror movie. It really makes you feel some things at various points. So I think I would give this a 4 out of 5 stars. It's really well crafted, really well shot, well acted, well directed. It doesn't have the most original plot, but it does manage to surprise you a few times, I will say. So props to Danny and Michael Philippou for making another really great horror movie. I hope they continue to do this. I maybe would like to see them explore some different themes in movies to come, because Talk to Me explored the theme of grief, and I think Bring Her Back also explores the theme of grief, losing people you love. So it would be nice to see them grow beyond that. I do think that Bring Her Back was a step above Talk to Me in just complexity, in production, so props to them. So I appreciate you being here with me for a few minutes, and I hope to see you again next time. So have a good one.